Hello everybody, welcome to Banquet 2019-2020. Certainly the most memorable banquet that we will probably have for a very long time. Welcome together, I think. Normally we would be gathered in a big room with a meal right now. The meal is on your own, we cannot help you with that part. But we wanted to maintain as much of this process as we could. And one of the first things that we do when we gather together as our welcome is to celebrate the great victories we've had this year and the amazing experiences before we go into the meal and the awards and the slideshow and then Miss Moreau's wonderful challenge to the 6th and 7th graders. So I'm going to try and keep some of those parts in place so that they are part of the 20-year stream of La Villa School of the Arts. So here's a short reflection on some of the amazing things that we did this year, and please tune in for the next video which has the slideshow. Have some tissues ready. It was a really hard one. Without further ado, some of the things that we did this year. Right off the bat, at the very beginning of the school year, we registered 60 students for Jacksonville Sings at University of North Florida. That is the largest group we have ever prepared for that event, and it was spectacular. We had a wonderful day together. We had 30 students that took part in our all-county honors course this year. We had our first ever ACDA honors choir members for the state ACDA honor choir, and we had 11 all-state choir members. Those are spectacular numbers just for honors choir events. That doesn't even count what we're doing here at our school. We started the year with an original works concert, the earliest concert that we have done in quite some time at the very beginning of November. And what made that concert extra special is that all the music was written by La Villa students or alumni. That means that people were giving back art, or our own students actively in the classroom were creating brand new art that the world had never heard before. And for that to have been our first moment of singing together this year is really special, something that no one else could have done anywhere in the world this year. I can look back and say we started with something that was unique to us, and that was a present that we shared with each other and with you, and we hope that you were moved with the music of that concert. It was created by the students in this department and the alumni that have come from it, and that was a beautiful experience. We had two spectacular winter concerts, both nights full and packed, and a wonderful experience, and we combined with Johnny Ford's chorus, and they brought over all of their students, and we got to sing together on stage. We had an event, a choir runoff fall choral festival, where one of the groups, even backstage in the warm-up room, was singing so beautifully it made the people that were back there to help us get on stage burst into tears, and that was one of the beautiful memories that I will take from this year's concerts as well. We weren't even on stage yet, and people were already crying, and it was a beautiful moment that we shared. We had our solo and ensemble MPAs. We had about 25 students that sang solos over the course of those 2 days in various languages. Most of them were in Italian, and they did spectacularly well. We are so very proud of them. Our two ensembles, Broadway Bound and Art Singers, both received superior ratings for their participation at solo and ensemble festivals. They continued their wonderful legacies for our show groups. We sang at the Icemen's concert, that's the hockey team. We sang at Guardian Ad Litem fundraiser at Mount Herman at Canines for Warriors. We had a group that wrote a whole new musical score for an original musical by La Villa students. We were very busy this year, and we enjoyed every moment of music making in the classroom and out of the classroom. We were able to mean something to each other, and hopefully in the span of all of our concerts, we're able to bless your lives and those around you as well. Our last day together, we got on buses with the entire department, and we went to our music performance assessments. And we did not know this was going to be our last day together, but if it had to happen of in-person contact, I'm glad it was that day. Because at the end of that day, every single choir at La Villa School of the Arts walked away with the overall superior ratings for their choral MPAs. And for that to be a shared experience for all of us, that we had a great on-stage set, that we sang beautifully in our sight reading rooms, and that we got to walk out of that building that day knowing that we had done our best, and that was reciprocated by the views of the judges, was just a beautiful moment. So we are so very proud of them, and I hope that they can carry that with a really strong sense of self, even though this end of the year got a little bit tricky. We have a couple of concerts that didn't happen, and putting together a year in review without mentioning the sad part for a short moment would be remiss on my part. Having said that, I'm not going to dwell there, but I do think that we have to give a moment to the things the children were preparing for that we didn't get to share with our audience. Because I know that they were very eager to share that with you, and they wanted to bring meaning to all of our lives with their gifts. And in some cases that wasn't able to happen the way we had expected. We had a couple of groups preparing for a Holocaust memorial concert that JCC was going to join with us. We were going to sing a wonderful multi-movement work called I Never Saw Another Butterfly, as well as some other choral selections. And we were going to bring an operetta called Brundabar to the stage, which was about an hour of acting and singing like a little mini opera. That piece was written during the Holocaust and is quite a powerful little moment. We, of course, lost our spring concerts, and the children had prepared much of their MPA music, and we're starting to prepare all of their spring music for that concert, and that was going to be a wonderful throwdown. As many of you know, we had a large group of students who were preparing to travel to Ireland, and we had to call off our trip. At that point, they had prepared a 45-minute concert of packed music, show tunes, some spirituals, some folk music, some jazz, Glory from Selma. It was a really powerful show, and we got to the end and were not able to even meet for a recital to share with you the music that we had learned. So before I get back to some of the happy things, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that those were the things the students really had their hearts set on that didn't happen. If you would join me for a short moment of silence before we continue on with the year in review. So even though we didn't get to do some of those things, we did do something miraculous, something that no one has ever done before. We're part of a generation that when everything was shelved, we didn't say we won't make art, we just found a different way. And we moved online with the best educators in Duval County, and we found ways to make music together, to still sing and to create works in various music apps, and to learn and to progress, and then to laugh and to connect with each other in Teams and in Zoom meetings, in so many ways that we managed to stay the family of the La Villa Vocal Music Department. And even though we might have had our concert year cut short, we did not cut short the relationships that we have, and we were able, in almost all cases, to stay in really good touch with each other and to uplift each other and to be the voice of it's gonna be okay, and to be the voice of corny jokes, and to be able to laugh and enjoy each other's company through all of this. Before the meal, which would come after my speech, I'm going to go ahead and do the thank yous that would normally come later on. After this video, you'll see in about an hour, there will be the slideshow. In about an hour after that, the challenge to our 6th and 7th graders. We will be handling awards differently this year. We're going to be doing that with uniform drop-off for the 6th and 7th graders, and we have a different plan for our 8th graders. So don't panic. We will still try and recognize them in the best ways that we can manage in these circumstances, and try and carry on as many of our end-of-year traditions as we can. There are so many people that gave so much this year to make sure that we could have a very special event-filled year, and that we could bless the lives of the students and to make this as wonderful of an education program as we could, both with finances and with possibilities and opportunities. I would love, normally I would say these people need to come up here, we need to give them a round of applause and gather them all up. We aren't together right now. But if you are one of our volunteers or board members, you need to know that even though we cannot be together, none of the things that we were able to do this year would be possible without you. And there is no adequate way for me to express our thanks to you and what you mean to us and how you have made our lives better without you here. But I do want you to know that even though you will not hear the ring of applause in the room, unless you've gathered your kids together to watch this video and they should applaud you. But if they are not in the room to yell and scream and applaud for you, I need you to know that there is a whole department and alumni and parents everywhere that have been part of this program that might have moved on, their kids have graduated high school, but they know what you had to give to make this magical, and we all appreciate it, all 20 years worth of generations of Lavillians. Thank you. To our board members, Miss Scottson, our president this year, Miss Gimmel, Miss Sinkler, Miss Moondy, our treasurer, Tracy Cummings, our secretary, Mia Jenkins, Laureen Burke, Marianne Elkins, Shauna Jenkins, Barbie Ochoa as our board members. I think that is everybody, and I just want to say thank you, board, for all that you did for us, for all that you are doing to help us wrap things up, and for helping us keep our lives together. To our army of volunteers, that is the parents that brought things for the concerts, for concessions, that showed up for uniform fittings. There's a bunch of great pictures in the slideshow of our volunteers, for all the ones that helped us to sort and to get things off of trucks for fundraisers, and all of the parts and pieces. I think, we have a set of grandparents this year that ran off and got all the poinsettias for the show for us, and there are just so many connections that were made to bring this to fruition and make this year as successful as it was. So thank you to our many volunteers. Some special shout outs to Miss Glover and Miss Hubbard. They're alumni parents, and they were part of the Uniform Army. They were there helping that process with us. To our many sponsors for our international trip. We know our international trip did not happen, but we are very grateful for the Collins family, the Rose family, and some of our other wonderful families who sponsored students to be able to help with the financing for that trip, and for all that they gave in that process to try and help some kids' dreams come true. We are very grateful. To Mrs. Pendry for creation of the slideshow that you're going to see this afternoon. It took her quite a few hours to put it together, and I'm so grateful for that. And though she is retiring this year, I don't know if she will be watching this video, a huge shout out to Miss Gloria Davis, who for the last 20 years has blessed Villa School of the Arts with her extraordinary playing in any genre, and for recitals and tours. She has literally gone all over the world with us, and it's going to be a new world without her. If I may say on a personal note, I came to La Villa right out of my master's degree. I have never worked with a accompanist in a full-scale department other than Miss Davis. And what will next year look like without her, I have no idea. But Miss Davis, we are so appreciative of what you have given for the students of the Villa School of the Arts, and to help us as directors, and to support the mission of great music making and great people building in our school. We are so grateful for you. To Miss Knight and the administrative staff, I thank you as well. You have created an atmosphere where we feel trusted and we feel able to explore and to add and to innovate, and that is just not the case at every school, and we are so grateful for what you have given us. To the parents, thank you for helping in every way, not just physically at the school, but for backing up your students at home. In this particular instance, for literally helping to teach them at home and help them navigate this online learning process. I know that has been very difficult for all of you, and we very much appreciate it. And I know that your students, your children will be better, even if the online learning curriculum was hard for them as far as organizing all of their classes. Being able to talk through that with you and understand how to deal with stress and how to still look for successes where we can. There's so many lessons that are being learned during this time as we gather together and try and embrace each other and hold each other up through this process. As we finish our year in review, I just would ask that as we move forward, that all of us remember the great musical moments that we had together, and try and focus on one song, one time at one of the concerts where you were moved, and hold on to those moments, because at the end of the day, no one's going to remember what was said on this video. They're going to remember how they felt in that concert, whether in the audience or singing on the stage, and how it felt to take that first breath as a group together and realize that an entire room of people was taking a breath for one purpose, and that was to make that very first sound together beautifully to bless the lives of the audience. We thank you for the year. We hope that you enjoy the rest of our banquet, as it will. Looking to the next video. Have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you.